It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the In the Game podcast. We are being brought to you by Tavour. Make sure to go to Tavour.com or download the Tavour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code Taproom for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for joining with me. Just in the middle of watching this sorry-ass Lakers game. I guess we could say it is the funeral of their season, and what a disappointing season. I was going to open with something else, but I think this is the best thing to open with because we got a lot going on with it and the Lakers. And, you know, LeBron puts out a tweet a couple days ago saying, April Fool's joke on April 1st saying that I'm sitting out the rest of the year with my ankle. And it was kind of like the guy didn't even read the room, man. It was more one of those tweets where I actually thought it was true. It wasn't even a good April Fool's joke, to be honest. Like, he might as well sit out. Lakers had no chance. They won 4 games since the All-Star break, and they look like they're putrid. I mean, they're getting blown out here once again, 21 points by the Phoenix Suns, and it's just it's a disaster of a season. And it's kind of I often say the jokes write themselves. And LeBron tweeted out before the season started that to keep the same energy throughout the year when everybody was saying that this season was going to be a disaster, and here we are, and the season is a disaster. And it kind of played out. I mean, I didn't expect them to be this bad. I don't think anybody did. And if anybody expected them to be this bad, I mean, hats off to them, because, I mean, it's incredible. Because, I mean, they did have good talent, but we knew they were old, and they had pieces that, were very one-dimensional in today's game. And it was not a roster built for 2022, you know what I mean? So, but here we are. And the reason why I was going to talk about the Lakers tonight anyways was because Magic Johnson was on ESPN earlier today. And he said this on the Mike Greenberg show. So I'm going to play a clip real quick, and then we're going to react to it.
What is fair to put on LeBron? Again, he's played great, but what is fair criticism of him for the season the Lakers
Well,
have had?
Damian, first of all, thank you, because I love listening to get my football knowledge from all your football experts that you have on the show. And so when I think about it, the blame that he's got to take is the fact that DeRozan ended up in Chicago and not with the Lakers. He has
Expand on that thought, if you will. Why is
because
that on
DeRozan
LeBron?
wanted to play for the Lakers. And when I got the call from his agent, I called the Lakers, said, hey, he wants to come home. And DeRozan could have been a Laker instead of a Bull. We could have made that deal. But when Russell and LeBron and them started talking, that's when they nixed that deal and went with Westbrook, and he became a Laker instead of DeRozan. And I think with DeRozan, and then you had a chance to keep the role players, Caruso, KCP, all those guys who are our best defenders, see, they left. And that's why we were a bad defensive team. But if you signed DeRozan, you only trade Kuzma for Buddy Hield, we would be playing in the Western Conference Championship this year with those two guys.
I mean, there's a lot to touch on there. And obviously, Magic, he makes a valid point. Like, I think we all knew that. But it's like, why come out 6 months later? Like, we're towards the end of the season. Why come out and say that now, right? And I think there's a few reasons why. We've seen Clutch Sports, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Lakers go back and forth basically all season about who's to blame for this. First it was LeBron wanted Westbrook, then LeBron and AD and Clutch Sports they kind of backed off that and said, we weren't aware of anything going on. We didn't give any input about who we wanted. And then we're hearing, Lakers front office people saying, well, LeBron and AD wanted Westbrook. That was why we went out and got Westbrook. And then now Magic Johnson says there was deals in place to get Buddy Hield and DeMar DeRozan, but they wanted Westbrook. And I do think that LeBron needs to shoulder some of the blame because he did, put the Lakers in this position, to go out and get Westbrook. And I understand why he did it. Like, he did it because he wanted to take energy away from him. Like, he didn't want to have to be that guy that has to go out and score 30 points a game every night. So for them to have a chance to win, like, he didn't want to do that at 37 years old. And I think we all could agree that that was the way to go because we were even told, like, he basically made it known that he was passing the torch to Anthony Davis, and then Anthony Davis shows up out of shape and gets hurt again. And the guy just cannot stay healthy. So he goes out and gets Westbrook, and then it's automatically a bad fit. And who knows how DeRozan would have been with LeBron because, DeRozan's having a great season, MVP level season with Chicago, but, I'm not sure that he would be playing the same with LeBron because, it's kind of the same kind of fit. Like, DeMar DeRozan isn't a spot-up shooter. Him and LeBron both play best with the ball in their hand. Now, would DeRozan be better when LeBron's sitting? Absolutely. 120%. I think LeBron would be better. DeRozan will be better when LeBron sits. And, it's just DeRozan and AD or DeRozan and no LeBron and AD. But they made their bed and they got to lay in it. And now the Lakers are in an interesting position going forward because they have a bunch of second rounders this year. They don't have a first round pick until I believe 2024. So getting young players is kind of out of the realm of possibility now. LeBron has very much made it known that he doesn't really like to play with rookies. He goes to Cleveland, trades Andrew Wiggins basically for Kevin Love, goes to the Lakers. They give up all the young pieces plus draft picks to get Anthony Davis. So I think that Magic saying this right now is a message in the front office of saying, all right, we need to kind of restart and rebuild. But at the same time, I think that it starts with Jeannie Buss. And I said this last week. It begins and ends with Jeannie Buss in the front office. Like, there's a lot of snafu going on in that front office. There's a lot of disconnect. And I think there's too many voices. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many people trying to get their narrative, their team, their guys. And it's not working, obviously. LeBron goes and gets a title for the Lakers in the bubble. Thank you. But now we got to do what's best for our franchise because you're going to be 38 pretty soon next season. And, who knows how much longer LeBron has because he's been, fairly injured in his Lakers tenure. In his 4 seasons with the Lakers, he played 55 games the first year, 67 in 2020, obviously cut short because of COVID. 2020 and 2021 only plays 45, and then this year plays 56 games. And last year only 72 games, so he played a little more than half the season. This year plays over half the season, but we're used to this guy playing 74, 76, 82 games. Like, this is a guy that plays a majority of the season and is rarely ever hurt. And here he is, and he's basically been hurt all season in his whole Lakers tenure. So the Lakers have to move forward and they have to begin that process of post-LeBron life. And they got to get used to it. And I think it starts with trading Anthony Davis. Trading Russell Westbrook is going to be difficult because his value is basically in the fucking tank. So for them to trade Russell Westbrook, they're probably going to have to give up an asset or two just to get rid of him. Or maybe there's a team out there that's, looking to get off some salary past the season, past the next season, and maybe they want to bring in Westbrook, maybe to bring some tickets in, and they'll give up, you know, two mid salary guys that have 2 or 3 years left on their contract that are still, you know, could be semi productive. I doubt that deal is out there. I honestly think that either the Lakers are going to have to bite the bullet and play with Westbrook throughout half of next year, and then they can trade him when, you know, the end of his deal is up, because this is the last year of his deal, so he's an expiring contract. But I'm not sure a team is going to want to pay $42 million next season for a guy that is really, really struggling this year and not playing very good basketball, arguably having the worst season of his career. So I don't know if that deal exists out there. So I think what the Lakers are going to have to do, and probably the best move for them, is going to be to trade Anthony Davis, or maybe even LeBron James. If LeBron goes to the Lakers and is like, hey, I want to trade, like, I think it benefits both parties, you know? But then again, I don't know what kind of deal LeBron's going to get back, because I'm not sure a team, you know, I don't know what kind of team out there is going to trade for him. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets trade for him for Ben Simmons. I don't know. Do the Lakers want Ben Simmons? I mean, Ben Simmons hasn't even played all year. He's got a back issue. He could be damaged goods. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Lakers. But I do think that the best available thing for them to do is to trade Anthony Davis. I think he has the most value because of his age. You know, he does have a little bit of an injury history, but if he gets his body right in the offseason, he's still only 29 years old. So he just turned 29. So, I mean, he's going to be 29 basically all through next year. It's basically entering his prime, so he's still got some years left on him. So I think that's the best deal for them to make, to kind of revamp and get rebooted and restarted, because the Lakers are, let's face it, man, the NBA, and I'm not a Lakers fan, man. I think it's fucking comedy when the Lakers are this bad. I find it very hilarious. And it's just a gift that keeps on giving. But at the same time, when the Lakers are good, the NBA is good, because the Lakers are that historic brand. And when the Lakers are good, the NBA is good. So I like to see the Lakers good. I like to see them bad. I will say I hate seeing them on national TV every fucking game when they're this bad. It's because it's terrible basketball, and we already know the outcome before tip-off even happens. But they got to move off of Westbrook, which is going to be difficult. And I think for them to rebuild, the best and quickest way for them to do that is going to be by trading Anthony Davis. So that'll be interesting. But the thing I really wanted to, the story I really wanted to lead with tonight was Tiger Woods came out and said that he is going to play in the Masters this year. Ben and I talked about it on Taproom on Sunday. At that point, you know, it was still a coin flip. I mean, I felt it was pretty obvious that he was going to play, but you know, Ben wasn't so sure. And then Tuesday he comes out, says, I'm going to play, and now he's going to play. And it's good for the game of golf, because the game of golf, like it is with the NBA when the Lakers are good, golf is especially good when Tiger Woods is playing. If you look at the Masters and their ratings every single year, when Tiger doesn't play, ratings in golf are down. When Tiger plays, ratings go up. And it's going to be very interesting this year, because the Masters is obviously starting on Thursday, the same day as opening day in baseball. So it's going to be interesting how that affects the ratings for baseball, because I feel like the average casual sports fan is going to rather tune in and watch Tiger Woods than they are to watch baseball, unless their team is on. That might be a little bit different. But it's going to be very interesting. There's some updated odds. Tiger now has odds plus 5,000 to win. So lay 100, win 5,000. That's a long shot bet. But I mean, honestly, in golf, you know, it's such a wide field that everybody's pretty much a long shot. I kind of talked about on Taproom my three favorite picks. I had Rory McIlroy plus 1,800, Brooks Koepka plus 2,000, and then I had Colin Morikawa plus 2,000. Those were my three picks. It's gonna be an interesting tournament though. I'm not a big golf guy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like when I'm going off my picks, I don't watch every single golf tournament. Like I'll catch a Sunday here and there, but the reason why I like Brooks Koepka is because he shows up big in tournaments. He shows up big in big tournaments. And yeah, man, I really like Brooks Koepka for that reason. I like Rory McIlroy because I just feel like there's a bounce back happening for Rory. He hasn't been the same kind of golfer in the last few years, but I feel like this is his time to kind of get going. I have this gut feeling that Rory McIlroy is going to perform well in this tournament. So I feel at plus 2,000, that's still some great odds. A lot of people are on Jordan Spieth, who is actually not up here, but he's plus 2,000. His average finish at the Masters is 11th, so plus 2,000 is pretty good odds for him too. Tony Finau plus 5,000. His average finish at the Masters is 15th, so he's always at the top of the leaderboard. So that's an interesting. That is an interesting pick there as well. But I really like Rory McIlroy at plus 1,800. I mean, he probably won't even make the cut since I'm picking him, but I like those odds, and I think that I just have this gut feeling, man, and I can't get it out of that gut feeling. I just have this gut feeling. I also like odds for Tiger Woods to make the cut. Tiger, he's made the cut pretty much every year he's played in the Masters. He's only missed it one time. So I do expect him to make the cut. And I don't think Tiger Woods would play if he didn't think that he could actually compete. And by compete, I do think he means playing into the weekend. Like, that's not what Tiger's going to do. So I like Tiger Woods. It's plus 500 for him to make the cut. I love those odds because I definitely think he's going to make the cut. And then, I think there's some interesting names on this list. Jon Rahm, obviously the favorite. Reason being is because his average finish at the Masters is 10th. So I mean, this guy is constantly top 10, even though he's only played 5 times in the event. 4 top 10 finishes, though. Really incredible. So obviously plus 1,000, Jon Rahm could be a good value there. Dustin Johnson, still one of the best golfers in the world, but I feel like he's he hasn't been good in a couple years. Last year he was the favorite to win, and he didn't even finish top 10. So I like those 3: Brooks Koepka plus 2,000, Collin Morikawa plus 2,000, Rory McIlroy plus 1,800, and Tiger Woods plus 500 to make the cut. I really like those. Really like those picks. Really like those picks. All right, we're gonna touch on this is gonna be a short episode this week. Next week I'm gonna have a guest on. We're gonna break down the NBA playoffs. But this week I just wanted to hop on and I wanted to talk about that Tiger Woods news. Very excited that he's gonna be back. And then obviously I was watching this Lakers game and the funeral was happening. I was already gonna talk about Magic Johnson and what he said about LeBron, so I figured let's just open with that. And then I still want to react to March Madness because it was an interesting tournament this year. And to be honest, in my opinion, it wasn't a great tournament. And I love college basketball. College basketball is probably my favorite sport, one of my favorite sports. But man, this tournament, 0 buzzer beaters, not a single buzzer beater in the whole tournament. In the Elite 8, every game but one was a blowout. And even the one that wasn't a blowout, it was controlled by Villanova the whole game, basically against Houston. It was just other than St. Peter's, there wasn't a lot of just wasn't exciting like most March Madnesses are. The championship game was great. Kansas pulls out the victory after being down 16, but I mean, it really took Baycott. After when the first half was ending, I could just see he was like starting to hobble on his ankle, and I was like, man, this is not gonna be good. And then Caleb Love gets hurt too, and I mean, he was bad all night. And I don't want to take anything away from Kansas. They definitely deserved the win. They played better, but I mean, Baycott was out there playing on one foot, and he was really controlling the paint in the first half and control on in both sides. Got both McCormick and Lightfoot into foul trouble, and then the second half he wasn't getting those same foul calls because he wasn't as effective because he could barely move, and it totally changed the game. And then North Carolina was basically playing outside in. They were just jacking up terrible shots, allowed Kansas to really gain a ton of momentum. And once Kansas got within 9 within like 2 minutes of the second half, I was like, man, this is not going to be good if you're a Carolina fan. Like, this is going to be ugly.
That is one big pile of shit.
And sure enough, Kansas comes back, wins the game by 3. The spread was 4. And honestly, it gets down to the end, and I was like, oh, my God. Kansas is going to inbound it. Carolina's going to foul them. They're in the bonus, so they're going to get 1-and-1. They're going to make their first free throw. It's going to be 4. They could hit the second free throw, be 5. There's only like 9 seconds on the clock, so Carolina would have had to like heave up a 3, and the chances of making a 3 at that point are like 10%, especially the way they were shooting it. I was like, there's no way we're going to cover. And then the kid from Kansas, he gets the ball, steps out of bounds. I mean, just the gambling gods were looking down upon us last night if you had North Carolina +4. I mean, it was beautiful. And the under. I mean, the under was like, it was money at the end of the first half, only 58 points, and then it was really pushing it towards the end. I was like, oh, man, this game better not go to overtime. If this game goes to overtime, we are absolutely fucked. But sure enough, the game did not go to overtime. We cashed that +4 ticket. We were riding high last night. I hope y'all tuned in to Taproom Sports because we went 4-0 on our best bets. We had a hot tournament. Elite 8 was only our really only bad round, but other than that, I mean, we hit over 65% on the tournament, so we had an excellent tournament. You're definitely going to want to tune into TSP Wagers tomorrow night because we're going to be breaking down opening day Major League Baseball, where we did very well last year. We hit over 60% in baseball last year on the shows, so you're definitely going to want to tune into that. We also handicapped all of the over-under win totals for every single baseball team. You can catch them on the last 3 Taproom Sports episodes. We started with the Central Divisions, then went to the East Divisions, and just wrapped it up with the West Division. So if you want to get in some futures before Thursday, make sure to go check that out. And also, you can hit up some of the videos on our Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. We got a lot of content on there. Follow me on Twitter at Jordan Rules TSP, where I post best bets every single day. You can follow me on TikTok, Jordan Rules TSP, where I post videos of my best bets every single day. Really looking forward to it. But I'm going to get out of here. Told y'all this was going to be a short episode. I just wanted to touch on some things. It's just me tonight. Next week, I have a special guest coming on. We're going to be breaking down NBA playoffs, kind of handicapping really the first round, and then really diving into how we see the NBA playoffs playing out. So thank y'all once again. Make sure to go to Devour.com or download the Devour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan Rules TSP. Let me know who you're taking in the Masters. Let me know who your favorite is. Would love to hear from some of y'all. So appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit. Very much appreciated.
It's in the game.